Hi everyone, I hope you all are doing well. I am Garima Khanna, the Director of Test Prep Courses at LawSikho, and I welcome all of you to today's session, which is very important for the students who are targeting all the judicial services examination in upcoming years. When I say upcoming years, I mean that if someone wants to give an exam in 2025, 26, 27, or if someone has to give exam for in the next 5 years, they can basically do so. And this roadmap will be really helpful for you. So today I'm excited to share a comprehensive roadmap for judiciary exam preparation with all of you. Before getting into the intricacies of this particular roadmap, I will just give you a suggestion here that when you are looking into this roadmap, consider this roadmap as your guide, okay, as your Bhagavad Gita, as your Bible, or you can even consider this as your Three Idiots manual, which will help you to face the toughest exam of your life, that is judiciary. So this is not going to be a very big session, but of a smaller one in which I'm going to tell you the exact thing which you need to do. Okay. So here I will be giving you an yearly plan as well that how you should prepare exactly, right? So let's start with the session. Okay. Just wait. I'll just share my screen. Okay. Just give me a second. Okay. So let's start with the roadmap to clear judiciary exam. Okay. Now the first step which you need to take while you are preparing for your judicial services exam is the clarity of thoughts. So what do you mean by clarity of thoughts? Right? When I say clarity of thoughts, what do I mean by that? Right? So let's see. Okay, so when I say clarity of thoughts, I mean to say that you should know where you stand right now. So before preparing for any of the judicial services examination, you should know that what is your current status. This is basically the first step, and this is the self awareness step. Okay, generally, what we do is that we generally, for our students, we conduct a SWOT analysis and a beginner's assessment test. Okay, so what happens in both these tests? The in SWOT analysis test, you actually get to know your strength. Okay, strength, weaknesses. Okay, then you know your threats. Okay, so all of these things you know the in SWOT analysis, and we generally do give some questions, right? When you talk about the beginner's assessment test, in beginner's assessment test, we usually judge them on the basis of law. So we usually give them 50 to 100 questions and we tell them that, okay, you should be doing all of these questions and we will see that where you exactly stand right now. Okay, so this is basically a self-awareness test. Okay. The second thing is that you will have to have the clarity on deciding your path. Okay, in deciding your path. Now, when I say in deciding your path, I mean to say that whether you should prepare for prelims, mains, or both. That is the entire question, right? So you need to be very clear about it. Okay, that how should I prepare? What should be the first step? And last but not the least, be mentally prepared and have a positive mindset. See, you will have to prepare a very positive environment when you are preparing for this exam, right? As you know that you are going to make a lot of sacrifices, like you will be missing your vacations, you will be missing your family gatherings. Okay, you will not be able to invest too much of time in your relationships. You won't be able to invest too much time in your friendships. Okay, so you will have to be mentally prepared and you will have to be very positive about it. You can't be like, I'm not, when you have started your preparation, you can't be a person who is cribbing or cramming about, the things, right? So you need to understand that you need to have a basic clarity. Okay, that, where do I stand right now? I need to be self-aware that, how am I going to improve every day, right? You need to decide your path. You need to set your goals. You need to be mentally prepared with the positive mindset. All of these things is the first step which you need to take. You also need to think that whether do you have the right resources? Do you want any mentorship? You need to be very clear that, what all it takes to exactly clear the judicial services exam. Do you know how to write the answers? Okay, do you know the Bear Act? Do you know how to read the Bear Act? So all of these things you need to have clarity on, right? Now, there is a pro tip for you. This is very, very, very important, right? And this will definitely give you a zeal, and this will basically, ये आपको बेसिकली बहुत लंबे समय तक ये चीज चलाएगी अगर आप इस टिप को मानते हैं तो, राइट? So you have basically chosen your own path, and judiciary is passion and goal, right? So I'm telling you, if people think that this path is very easy, okay, and it will just you will be just able to crack that exam in 6 months or 7 months, that is not at all true. Okay, this is not an easy exam, I should say, right? Now, this is going to be a long journey. A lot of people clear their exam in the first attempt. A lot of them, take 3 to 4 attempts. A lot of people take 5 to 6 attempts, right? I have myself given a lot of attempts, right? Uh, but with every attempt, you exactly get to know that where you are making mistakes, right? So I am not saying that you will be able to crack this exam at one go, but people take their own time to crack this exam, right? So this is going to be a very long journey, right? So in this particular long journey, there will be good days and there will be bad days also. Some days will be like that. You will come and tell me that, ma'am, I'm not feeling like studying today, right? I had a bad day because I couldn't score good marks in my mocks. Okay. So there can be good days and there can be bad days. Some days will be very productive. You have learned so much today, but the other 2 days are very unproductive. So there can be days which will be really good. There can be good days and there can be bad days as well, right? But remember that every day is a day of improvement. So if in case you are doing a mock, right? Let's say you are doing 100 marks mock, right? And today you scored 60 marks, and tomorrow you are scoring 65 marks. Then you can feel that improvement, right? You can feel that improvement of 5 marks. And that is what I'm trying to say, that, every day is a day of improvement. You will have to track your progress in that particular manner, that each and every day you will have to see that what extra you have done, what extra mile you have taken, right? So I know this journey is very tough, but when you start enjoying this journey, right? When you will start liking this journey, this toughest journey, I should say, that's where you have won the half battle. Trust me, guys, you have won the half battle. So, in this long journey, if you're going to enjoy, if you're liking what you are doing, then it will make your journey very, very easy. Okay. Okay. Now, let's move on to the next step. That is the familiarization with the judiciary exam pattern. Now, see, almost all of you know about that, how the judiciary exam happens, how the PSC or the high courts of the different state conduct this particular exam. But then a lot of people get confused that, there are definitely there are three different stages, right? So when you talk about these three different stages, okay, what is the importance of each state, right? And why this exam happens in three phases, why there is a preliminary exam, why there is a mains exam, why there is an interview stage, right? So a lot of people don't know about it, right? So when you talk about the preliminary stage, see, preliminary stage is basically a objective type question exam, right? So there will be a question in which you will be given four options, right? But have you ever thought that why this objective exam happens? Have you ever thought about it? See, When you talk about judiciary, this preliminary examination happens to test you that how much you understand the law, right? So always remember, they are just testing you that how much you understand the law. Do you know the do you know the provisions? Okay. Do you know the concept? Okay. So there are different type of questions which have been asked in preliminary exam, right? Now, what are the different kind of questions? There can be, now when I talk about different kinds of questions, okay. So just hold on. Okay. So when I talk about the different kinds of questions, there can be different kinds of questions. Like there can be fact-based questions. Okay. There can be pecuniary based questions. Okay. Then there can be case law based questions. Okay. Then there can be conceptual questions. Okay. There can be reasoning and assertion based questions. There can be factual based questions. Okay. There can be pecuniary limits based questions. Now, why they exactly judge you on this? They judge you just to understand that, how much law you understand. Okay. They are just testing your knowledge. They are just testing that, whether you can understand law or not. Okay. So again, I'll repeat that in preliminary stage, there will be an objective type question where you will be given four options and out of which you will have to mark one right. Right. And there are different kind of questions which have been asked in preliminary exam in different states. Right. So there will be direct questions, there could be conceptual questions, and so on and so forth. Right. Now, let's say, now the second stage, if you talk about, okay, now the second stage, if you talk about, the second stage is basically the main stage. Okay. Now, when you talk about the mains exam, what exactly they test you on, right? Now, see, when you talk about the mains exam is basically a subjective type question paper, okay, in which you will have to write a lot of, in which you will have to write the answers. Okay. There will be 10 marker answer, 2 marker answer, then there can be 5 marks answer, 20 marks answer. There are different kinds of answers which have been asked in the main stage, right? Now, when you talk about the main stage, basically the test is basically of power of explanation. Okay. Now, when you are required to write a subjective answer, right? So they just test you that how well you can explain the law. So the preliminary stages, that how much do you understand law? Main stages, that they are just testing you on the power of explanation, how well you can explain the law, right? So when you talk about different state mains exams, in Delhi there is a in Delhi, application based question comes in mains exam, right? They will give you a situation and they will ask you to write the answer for that particular matter. So what they are trying to see, that how well you can apply the law, okay, and how well you can explain the law, right? Now, in different states, there is a word limit as well. In certain states, like, they will give you that you have to write 500 words or 200 words or 300 words or say 800 words, right? So what they are trying to see, that in lesser words, how well you are able to explain that particular thing, right? So this is the second stage, which is mains exam. Now the final stage is your interview stage, right? Now, when you talk about interview stage, they are just judging you that, how good are you as a person. So it's basically a personality test. Okay. It's basically a personality test. Okay. So in this particular personality test, you will be, you will be having a panel which you will have to face. They will be asking you questions. Okay. And you will have to definitely answer it. Right. So these are the three stages. Now, if you have cleared all these three stages, congratulations, you have become a judicial officer. Right. But the biggest question which comes in front of us is that how we should clear all these three stages, right? This is the entire dilemma, and this is the entire confusion which students have, right? A lot of people come to me, a lot of aspirants come to me and ask me, ma'am, uh, you know, uh, how do I prepare? Okay, the first thing. Okay, what will be the right strategy for me? Okay, then they will come and ask me that, I'm not able to understand CPC. How should I go about it? Right. So there are a lot of things which usually people ask, right? And, I completely understand, and I know that you guys must be having the same questions, right? But I think the wait is over, because we are exactly going to come on the roadmap which you will have to adhere, okay, while you are taking up this entire thing, right? Okay. So the third part now, the third part, when you talk about the third stage, okay, and this is the very important stage, okay. Now, identifying the right state judiciary, right? So, first, we had the clarity of thought. The second step was that you got familiarized with the exam pattern of the judiciary. The third thing is that identifying the right state judiciary. Now, you will have to be very smart. Okay. Now, generally, what happens, let's say that there is a student, okay, who is from Madhya Pradesh. Let's say I'm from Madhya Pradesh. So I'll just take an example of mine here. So, see, when I am from Madhya Pradesh, my first preference would be what? Madhya Pradesh, my hometown, right? My home state, basically. Okay. But a lot of times, there are certain situations. Let's say I'm preparing for Madhya Pradesh, and Madhya Pradesh did not announce the vacancy for 2 years. Now, what will happen? Okay, I won't be able to sit for any of the exams. Okay, but the other states are conducting the exam, right? But I won't be able to sit because I was only preparing for Madhya Pradesh. Now, this is one of the biggest setback which the students face. So you need to understand that you will have to be very smart when you are identifying the right state for judiciary. Okay, you will have to prepare at least more than two states. Okay. But now the question which comes in front of us is that if we are thinking that we need to prepare for more than two states, now the question, the confusion lies where? It lies that how we are going to identify those states, right? How we are going to identify those states, right? So there are certain parameters on which you can identify the state. Okay. So the first thing is that how you're going to identify the state. Okay. So you will have to identify, let's say, if in case I am from Madhya Pradesh, okay, and I am preparing for Madhya Pradesh, right? So I will have to look for the states which have similar syllabus. Okay, which have similar syllabus, which have similar syllabus. So if I talk about Madhya Pradesh is more or less, have similar pattern or syllabus. When you talk about, Rajasthan, when you talk about Chhattisgarh, more or less they are pretty much same, right? And generally it is said that the people who are preparing for Madhya Pradesh, they can easily crack Chhattisgarh as well, right? So if you talk about identifying the state, so the first thing which you need to see is that your similar syllabus. So with which state, if whatever hometown or home state you have, or have decided on to, right? You will have to find or identify the states which has similar syllabus. Okay, first thing. Second thing, basically, when you are identifying the right states, right? The choice also depends on the number of vacancies. Okay, so let's say, for example, if I talk about Chhattisgarh or Uttarakhand, Uttarakhand have just 17 vacancies in in the recent exam they conducted of 2023. When you talk about Chhattisgarh, Chhattisgarh usually gives very less of vacancies, like 35, 25, or 50 vacancies, right? So you will have to look into that factor as well. So, right? So one of the factor for choosing state is vacancies as well. Okay. And the third parameter on which we exactly look is that how frequently that state is conducting the examination. What is the frequency that they are conducting that particular examination? Okay, so for example, when you talk about UP, okay, UP conducted this exam in 2022 or 23, 22-23 examination. Before that, they conducted the examination in 2019. Okay, so you need to see that, what is the frequency of the vacancies which are coming up, right? So these are the parameters where you can definitely identify the right state judiciaries. Okay, now again, I'm telling you, okay, the wait is over. Okay, now we are going to move ahead with the plan, our yearly plan, the roadmap. Basically, the roadmap lies in this particular plan, which is ideal for you guys. Okay, so let's start that. Okay. Okay, so having an ideal plan, okay, plan of action is very important now. Now, if you're not going to have a ideal plan of action, then definitely it is going to be very difficult for you to crack any of the exam. Okay. Any state, for example, of judiciary. So you need to have a proper plan, that how you're going to study, how you're going to take it further, right? So all of these things you will have to look into, right? Now, as it is written here that, when you are preparing for judiciary exam, it is like a marathon. Okay, you will have to put consistent efforts than rushing at the last moment. So if in case you are doing any of the preparation at the last moment, it is definitely not going to help you. It is definitely not going to help you. If you are consistent enough, in your efforts, then definitely you will be able to clear your exam. And not only consistent in your efforts, you will have to have a proper strategy. Okay. So everybody is different. Okay, there can be strategies which can work for me, but it can't work for you, right? So you will have to be very mindful, and I'm telling you, this is there at this point of time, right? The counselors plays a biggest role. Okay, the mentors play the biggest role, because when you sit with a counselor or a mentor, they will understand that, how much capacity you have, how much, you can sit, how many hours you can sit, right? So there are certain factors which they basically look into you, and they make a personalized strategy or personalized plan for you, right? So a lot of people I have seen that, they listen to the people who have already cleared the exam and they try their strategy. Okay, but I will tell you, mind you, on this particular thing, that, the strategy which might work for them might not, you might not be very comfortable doing that, right? So it is different for different people, right? Okay, so now here is an ideal plan for you which you need to follow, and you will have to be pretty much consistent in your efforts to follow this particular plan, right? Now, see, this is the roadmap for the judiciary exam, right? So generally, what I do is that I have bifurcated in two ways. Okay. First is the fast track way. Now, when I talk about the word fast track, okay, what do I mean by this? Okay, when I say the word fast track, okay, fast track means the person who wants to prepare themselves in an year or so. right? So in an year, if you want to prepare yourself, then the fast track way is the best way, right? Now, what is the warrior way? Okay. So warrior way is that, you have a longer time to prepare. So you can easily prepare in 1.5 years or 2 years, and then you can completely revise and give the exam, right? So when I say the fast track way, the fast track way is basically ideal for the fourth, fifth year students of law, right? The dropout student, the people who have specially taken the dropout, right, to prepare, just to prepare for this particular exam. And then there are working professionals, right? Then when you talk about the warriors, ideally, they are from first, second, third year students. Take care. They can definitely, the first, second, third year student can use the warrior way. The fourth, fifth year dropout working for professionals can definitely use the fast track way. Now, when you talk about the working professional, owing to the scarcity of the time, uh, you know, they can definitely go the warriors way as well if they want to, right? So it is open for them that if they want to choose the warriors way, they can choose the warriors way. If they want to go with the fast track and they can manage it in a very good way, then definitely they can go for fast track way as well. Now, when you talk about the fast track way, it takes 1.2 years to complete the entire course of judiciary. Now, there are a lot of people, who tell ki nahi, you will be able to prepare in 8 months or 9 months. Practically, it is not possible, right? Because I have been there and done that. So I can definitely tell you with that experience that practically it is not possible. Okay. So when you talk about fast track way, you can definitely complete your entire course in 1.2 years. And how you will complete, I will come to that as well. Right. And when you talk about the warriors way, you can complete your course in 1.5 years. You can go slow. Slow and steady wins the race because you have a lot of time as you are in your first, second, third year. By the time you will be able to complete the course, you will still have 1.5 years to revise the things. Right. So you can definitely uh, have because you have a lot of time, then you can definitely complete your course aram se. Okay. Now, when you talk about the fast track way, okay, when you talk about the fast track way, what is it exactly? What does the plan look like now? Right. So that is the entire point. What does the plan look like now? Okay. So let's check it out that what exactly, this plan looks like. Okay. So let's see the fast track way first. Okay. So see, when you talk about the fast track batch, right? How much time you are going to give for one thing? You need to see this. Okay. So when you talk about the fast track batch, or the fast track way, you will be able to complete all these things in 1.2 years. Okay. Now, how you're going to complete it, that is the entire question, right? So see, in in 160 hours, okay, in 160 hours, you will be able to do 5 subjects in 4 months. Okay, now what all these subjects are there? Civil Procedure Code, Indian Contract Act, Specific Relief Act, Partnership Act, and Sales of Goods Act. Okay, now the people, there are states where Partnership Act and Sales of Goods Act doesn't come, right? So they can definitely skip this and they can definitely do the other subjects, right? Like Limitation Act or Negotiable Instrument Act, because these are the acts which are fairly asked in all the states, right? So definitely the people who doesn't have Partnership and Sales of Goods Act uh, in their judiciary syllabus, then they can definitely skip that, right? Now, in another 120 hours, okay, what we are going to do is that we are going to study 4 subjects in 3 months. So that is your Criminal Procedure Code, Limitation Act, and Indian Evidence Act. Now, all these 3 acts are very important because these are the common subjects which are asked in almost all the state judiciaries. Okay. And another one is your Negotiable Instrument Act as well. Okay. Now, the other bundle is of Indian Penal Code, Hindu law, law of torts, right? So in 120 hours in 3 months, you will be able to complete Indian Penal Code, Hindu law, and law of torts. Now again, Hindu law and law of torts can be skipped by the people in by the people, by the people जिनके स्टेट जुडिशरी में बेसिकली ये नहीं आ रहा है, right? So again they can skip it. They can either start, they can again learn their local laws, or they can start with any with their revisions of the subjects which have already been done, right? Now when you talk about the last quarter of the year, the subjects will be Constitution of India, Transfer of Property Act, Muslim law, and arbitration. Right. So again, when you talk about uh, Muslim law and arbitration, not both of the subjects have not been asked in all the state judiciary. So the people who doesn't have this particular subject in the state judiciary, they can skip, and the people who have these particular subject can do them. Right. Now, when you talk about these are the core subjects which are asked in almost all the state judiciary examinations, right? Now, when you talk about the other goals, now what are the other goals which has to be achieved with this particular with this particular lineup of the subject is that is your the things which have been asked in your judiciary exam, that is your general knowledge, then your Hindi translation, which is being asked in your mains examination, Hindi grammar. The states like Haryana, Rajasthan, they ask Hindi in their preliminary stage as well, right? So you will have to learn all those subjects, all those things as well, right? So when you talk about the other goals, how we are going to complete those other goals is this, that we are going to complete everything in 1.2 years. So we are going to complete general knowledge. In the first quarter, okay, of the year, we will be completing history, geography, and polity. Then in the second quarter, we will be completing the subject science, followed by the Hindi course. Now, in Hindi course, you will get the grammar and translation. Okay, so a lot of people find it very difficult. Ka, kha, ga, gha, ya, right? So, we all must have studied Hindi last in your ninth or 10th standard, right? After that, we haven't even touched it. So it becomes a very difficult subject, right? So we will be doing the Hindi course, which will include the grammar portion and the translation, right? Then you will be in the third quarter, you will be doing the judgment writing course. Okay, this judgment writing course will comprise of two parts. One is civil judgment and another one is criminal judgment. So 3 months you will be doing only judgment writing, and you will be provided a lot of assignments and everything. Okay. Now, when you talk about the last quarter, in our last quarter, you will be given the interview course. Okay, so this is basically a personality development course. A lot of students basically they hesitate. Okay, they hesitate to talk. They hesitate to talk in front of the public. Okay, they get really nervous when they see people and they are not able to speak. Right, so all of these things should be included in this particular course. In this, you will be given the mock drills, how you're going to face the interviews. There will be the internal panel, the faculties, the retired judges we are going to have. So it's going to be so much of fun, right? So there are 4 quarters. So what we have done is that we have divided the entire year into four parts. Okay, and in each and every part is very much, each and every quarter, I should say, or each and every part is basically designed in a way where you have a target and you need to just look at that target and complete it, right? So this is the fast track way. Okay, so this is the fast track way. Okay, now when you talk about the fast track way, okay, you will always have to keep one thing in mind, and that thing is that that you will have to what you will have to do is that you will have to study 3 subjects at a time. Okay. So when you talk about the fast track, you will have to do study 3 subjects at a time. Okay. So one is your major act. Okay. Another one is your medium act, and last one is your minor act. Now, it can be a minor act or a local act. Okay. And now you don't have to worry. Okay. A lot of time. So Okay. So you don't have to worry about this that, oh my God, how am I going to do three subjects a day? Okay. For the people who are in their fourth and fifth year, you must be having your colleges, you must be having your college assignment. And I completely understand that the fifth year is your final year. You need to, hang out with your friends and do everything. But you don't have to worry about anything. Okay. You, what tip I will give you here is that always take smaller portion. Okay. Always take smaller portion. Okay. So when you are going to take smaller portions, let's say that I'm giving you 10 sections today. So 10 section of, let's say, one major subject, that is CPC. Another one is medium, that is contracts. Okay. And another minor or a local act, any of the local act or SRA, let's say. Okay. I'm giving you just 10 sections of CPC, 5 section of contract, and 5 section of SRA. Then it becomes very easy for you to exactly do that particular thing, right? Rather than thinking of, oh my God, these are the three subjects, how am I going to complete it? Right? And this is the place where a counselor will help you, right? A mentor will help you. So always remember this thing, right? Now, when you talk about when you talk about the warrior's way, okay? Now, what is the way of warriors? Okay. Now we need to look into the warrior part, right? Okay. Now what we will do is that we will look into the warriors part. Now, what is this warriors part all about? Now, as I told you that warrior way basically is dependent on what, or is based for what kind of category of people, that the students who are in their first, second, or third year. Now, they have a lot of time, so they can definitely, complete their course in the due course of time. That is 1.5 years, right? Now, the same thing we have for the warriors batch as well, right? So again, we have divided the entire batch into 4 to 5 into 5 parts now, right? Because it's a warrior batch and we are taking 3, 4, 5 months more than what we are taking for the fast track batch, or for the fast track way, I should say, right? So when you talk about the warriors, right, warriors will complete their entire course in 1.5 years. Okay. And they will definitely, there are certain changes in the plans, right? So what they are going to do is that, so where a fast track student studies 3 subjects, they only need to concentrate on 2 subjects. Okay. One major and another one is mine. Okay. Now again, they need to just take smaller portions and learn it aram se, and they can definitely, be able to clear the exam once they are eligible for the entire thing, right? So the plan is almost more or less or same, right? But there are certain changes where there will be just, studying 2 subjects rather than 3 subjects. Okay. So this is the entire plan, okay, for your fast track and warrior way, right? So this is the roadmap which you need to take while you are preparing for the judiciary exam. And this is very, 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 right? This is very important. Okay. Now, after, once you know that, what is the ideal way, what is the roadmap, how we are going to, approach to our subjects, right? After that, what all things you need to know additionally, these are these things, right? Now, what should be an ideal plan of action? Okay. What all extra thing you need to do with this particular plan which I'm giving you is that you will have to do the exhaustive study of the subjects, right? Okay. Then you will have to practice quizzes and mocks, right? So you will have to be very regular with them, right? At least do 50 to 100 questions, practice 50 to 100 questions every day. Okay. Then once you have practiced the questions, quizzes and mocks, then the very important thing which comes into the picture is tracking analysis your progress. Okay. Now you need to see that, okay, yesterday I took 50 questions and out I was able to do 30 questions. Now today have done 35 questions. So again, there is a improvement of 5 marks, right? So this tracking and analysis of your progress is very, very, very important, right? Just look into the mistakes which you are making. Okay. Just look into the mistakes which you are making. Look into the mistakes which you are making and just improve them. I told you every day is the day of improvement. So you will have to improve it every day. Okay. And with this, practicing quizzes, mocks, and answer writing as well. Okay, don't forget that. Answer writing is very, very, very important. Okay, so working on your improvements, right? So whenever you are going to write an answer, right, get it evaluated. That is the most important point, right? You will have to get it evaluated. Okay. So you will have to get it evaluated. And once you get it evaluated, you will be able to understand that where you are making mistakes. And then you can definitely go ahead with you can just, uh, cure just improve on your mistakes and you can just move ahead, right? And last but not the least, give your best, right? So these are the additional things which you need to do with the ideal plan, right? Which you need to do with the ideal plan. Okay. Now, see, you have gone through the roadmap. You have seen that what exactly the things are or are not, right? How you need to prepare, what additional things you need to do. But last thing is the biggest challenge of this entire exam, and a lot of students come to me with this particular problem that, ma'am, I'm not able to retain anything. Ma'am, the exams are coming and I am feeling very, very nervous. I'm not able to clear this. I'm very confused that I'm not able to recall anything at this point of time, right? And how do I revise? Uh, I'm not able to, keep the concept more than 2 months in my mind, right? So all of these questions have been asked, right? Now I will give you the answer for this today, right? Now, see, when you have studied the entire course, okay, let's say if you have taken a fast track way, then you have done your course in 1.2 years. If you have taken a warrior's way, then you have done your course in 1.5 years. But just doing the course or learning the concepts is enough. If you are going to ask yourself, I know the answer will be no, right? Now, why the answer will be no is that, in order to keep all the things intact, revision is very important. Varna, you will definitely forget this particular thing in just like 1.5 months, 2 months. And this is the biggest challenge which you will have to overcome in this entire journey. Okay, so we will definitely give you a revision plan as well, so that you should know that how much you have retained or where are the areas which you need to work more, right? So all of these things will be taken into consideration, right? So you don't have to worry about. Okay, okay. So you will have to keep this thing in mind. So the last step of this particular roadmap is adding layers to your preparation. Okay. Merely the plan is not enough. Okay. I have given you the roadmap. I have shared everything with you. But what, how you will manage, how you will retain it? You will have to, layer up your concept each and every time. Each and every time you will have to keep on revising. You will have to test your knowledge by giving quizzes, by giving mocks. You will have to test your knowledge by writing answers. Every week, at least write 5 answers, right? So that is how you will have to test yourself, right? So what all things will help you in retention? That is that these are the steps which will definitely help you in retaining the concept, right? So you can definitely, the first step is that you should attend the live lectures. Okay, so if in case you have already attended it once, you can again go back and see the lectures. Okay, you can read your notes regularly which you are making in your classes, or which you have just gone through the books and have made your notes, right? You should practice topic wise quizzes every day. As I told you that every day you need to practice 50 to 100 questions. That is very, very important, because you will get to know that how much concept you know and where are the places where you are making mistake, right? So that becomes very important. Okay, so you will have to solve mocks, which includes objective mocks, subjective mocks, right? Interview mocks, all of these mocks are there, right? So you will have to look into that particular factor. Then when you talk about then what you can do is that you can definitely get in touch with your counselor or your mentor, discuss the progress, or we align the targets. Or if you are bored with your strategies, you can change your strategies. You can start preparing with a different perspective and this different strategy, right? You can revise it in a very different manner, right? And definitely the biggest thing which will help you in acing this exam is that the whatever feedback you are getting from your mentor, okay, or your counselor, you can say, you will have to work on them. So basically, learn, analyze, improve, and achieve your goals. So this is the entire thing which we are looking forward to, right? So this is the thing. Now, the interesting question. Okay. Now we have seen the plan. Okay, we have seen the plan. We just saw that how you need to retain the concept, how you need to revise the concept, everything. But what all is required to build this? Now we have discussed the plan. Okay, I have given you one for fast track way. I have given you 1.2 years plan, and simultaneously for warriors for 1.5 years plan. But what all is required to build this? That is the entire and the major question. Okay, now I really want you to think about it, that in order to do all of this, just going through the plan, okay, everything, what all thing is required to build this? Okay, now see, I have the answer. We have got everything for you at one place. Okay, now what all things we have got for you, let's look into it. Okay, now first thing we have got for you is live classes. Okay, so live classes for um, major laws, minor laws, local laws. Okay. And the other courses like subjects like judgment writing, Hindi course, which includes the translation and grammar course, general knowledge, static general knowledge, in which you will be covered history, geography, polity, science, with current affairs. Okay, there are current affairs compendium, monthly compendium, 6 months compendium. Okay, financial digest we have. Okay, and then we have answer writing sessions. So all of these things are covered in your live sessions. Okay. Now then we have comprehensive content. We give you notes, topic wise quizzes for all the subjects, right? Then we have exhaustive mocks, subject wise and full length mocks, catering to all the state judiciaries, right? Then we have dedicated counselors for each judiciary student to provide assistance during preparation. So this counselor will be your first person whom you will be in touch, okay, for every small problem or a big problem, right? Then there will be assignments and evaluations. You will have to you will get all the assignments, mains answer writing classes, in which we will help the students to write how, so as to how to write the answer. Now that is the biggest question, right? How you're going to how you are going to write the answer. Now a lot of people get confused. They don't know that, how an ideal answer should look like, right? So we will be taking all those answer writing sessions, and we have the evaluators which will be evaluating your answers and telling you that where you are making the mistake, where you need to improve your answer, and how you will be they will help you so as to how you will be able to ace that exam in the best possible manner, right? Last but not the least, we have interview mock drills and course. As I have already discussed with you, that we will be having a 30 hours course specifically for interview mock drills, where you will be having a lot of simulation exercise, personality development classes, fun learning classes, and you will be given a lot of exercises so as to boost your confidence. And if in case you have any sort of fears, that will definitely be able we will be able to cure that, right? And lastly, we have the current affairs support also, where we release the daily news analysis. Okay, so the people who are not able to read the Hindu or any other newspaper, so they can definitely see the daily news analysis every day, and they can just make the pointers in the notes, and that is all. They are good to go with that particular thing, right? For current affairs, then we provide the monthly compendiums. Okay, then there will be a 6-month compendium as well. We provide the latest case laws, latest essay writing topics, and many more things which are included. They have been included in current affairs support as well, right? So when you talk now, I will just make you just see here that when you talk about comprehensive content, now what is the difference between the content which we provide is this, that generally when you go and buy bulky books from the market, right? If you are going to buy the books of all the subjects of the judiciary exam, then it is going to definitely cost you like 45 to 50,000. The pricing of books only will be the 45 to 50,000. But when you talk about our LawSikho exhaustive notes, they cover all the major, minor, and local laws. One. Second, they are detailed and well structured. So basically, these notes will save your time. Okay. They will definitely save your time. Okay. Now, the notes are very easy to read. Okay, so they have case laws, flow charts, diagrams, tables, icons, so that you can definitely it's very easy to read and grasp the concept from there, right? And the best part is that we keep on amending our notes, right? So if in case there is any landmark judgment or any new case law which has been introduced with respect to that particular topic, we generally keep on amending those, right? Now, the second is topic wise quizzes. Okay. Now, when I say topic wise quizzes, what do I mean to say, right? So let's say that uh, there is a topic which has been taught in your class today, that is Introduction to Contract Act, right? So today there was a class on Introduction to Contract Act. Now, once you have done the class on Introduction to Contract Act, you will be required to do a topic wise quiz. Okay, so there are around 100 questions only on Introduction to Contract Act, right? So you will, just after the class, you will have to attempt those topic wise quizzes, so that you should be able to understand that how much retention or how much you have understood by your live classes, right? So when you talk about the topic wise quizzes, in past few days, there have been students who have been asking me that, which is the best book to do the assignments or do the MCQs. And I have been telling them, right? But I'll tell you one thing, that the kind of repository which we have for the topic wise quizzes, you will not find in any other book. So we have repository of 2000, 2500 of each subject, which you will never ever find in any of the books. So we have curated these questions with respect to the judiciary exam pattern. So in order to, so that, so we are looking into 29 states, right? So we are looking into each and every states and each and every pattern. Okay. And according to that pattern, we are definitely, we have curated a lot of questions which you will never ever find in any of the books. Right. So this is the comprehensive content which LawSikho provides. Now, the the most important part is that the state exam. Okay. So when you talk about the topic wise quizzes, okay, we have done the analysis. So recently the Haryana prelims judiciary exam happened, right? And basically 63 questions were there from our repository out of 100. Okay, so 45 were direct questions and 18 were derivative questions. So 63% of the paper was from the LawSikho repository. Whereas when it comes to Jharkhand prelims judiciary exam, then out of 80, there were 57 questions which were asked from our repository. That is 71% paper is asked from the LawSikho repository. Now, when you talk about AP judiciary examinations, which has been held on 13th April 2024, out of 100 questions, 73 questions have been asked from our repository. So that means that 73% of the paper was from our repository. So if you guys are doing the questions which are given in our repository, that is in our topic wise quizzes, if you talk about, then you will be able to ace the prelims exam in the best possible manner. Right. So this is the percentage which we have exactly had in each and every exam, each and every preliminary exam. Right. Now, second thing which I want to talk about is exhaustive mocks. Now we have a lot of exhaustive mocks, right? So when you talk about exhaustive mock, when you talk about mocks, right? So they are basically two types of mocks. One is the full length mock, which is entirely based on that particular judicial state pattern, and another one is subject wise mock, right? So basically we train you subject wise as well, and we train you in the full length as well, right? So this is again a very, very, very important part which you need to take into consideration in your judiciary preparation, right? So when you talk about exhaustive mocks, definitely it will help you understand. It will definitely give you a real time examination feel. Okay, so when you talk about these mocks, it will give you real time examination feel. Okay, so the improvement you will see that how much you are able to retain, what concept or sessions or what are the procedure which you are able to retain, and where or what all things are there where you need to make the improvement, right? So you will have to definitely go through the exhaustive mocks as well, right? So this is very, very, very important. Now when you talk about the analysis of the exhaustive mock, I will definitely like to tell you that uh, when you talk about Chhattisgarh 2022 exam, right, which has just recently happened, 78 questions were from the mock test series out of 100. And there were 11 students who cleared prelims at that point of time. So again, this is, very, very, very proud moment for the LawSikho, right? Again, when you talk about Jammu and Kashmir, okay, there are two papers in Jammu and Kashmir. So one paper is of 80 marks and another one is of 100 marks. So in paper one, we have 41 questions out of 80 and, 50 questions out of 100 in paper two. And we had 41 students clearing prelims with this particular mock test series, right? Now, again, if you talk about Madhya Pradesh, recently Madhya Pradesh has released the prelims result, right? They have already got through the mains and people are waiting for their interviews. And recently there was a judgment with respect to the Madhya Pradesh judiciary results, right? So again, out of 125 questions, we have 72 questions from our repository. not only from our repository, it is from our mock test series. So when you talk about the mock test series and when you talk about the topic wise quizzes, if you are going to practice both of them, you can crack your prelims exam easily. So you need to understand the importance of both the things, right? So if you are doing the topic wise quizzes, at the same time you are doing the mock test series as well, nobody can stop you by clearing your prelims exam of whatever state you are giving, right? So always remember this. Okay. Now we have dedicated counselors. Okay. So now when you talk about the counselors and mentors, a lot of people doesn't have those, right? So there is no one to guide you in the right direction. There is no one to guide you in the best possible manner. Okay. So when you talk about the counselors at LawSikho, basically what they do is that they, give you the targets with respect to your ideal states, right, for which you are preparing. They will help you in identifying the right states also, and they will be the right person telling you that how you should prepare and how you should go about the things, right? They will create a basic plan for you, they will create a success plan for you, they will create strategies for you, and they will be following up in every week with you, right? Okay, so this is the role of counselor. They are the one-stop solution for you to actually crack this particular exam, right? Now, lastly, we have answer writing and evaluation. So this is a very important part. And now I want to definitely, what do I say? I want to definitely come to a point where I want to tell you guys that, whether you should prepare for your mains first or your prelim first, or you should prepare both the things simultaneously. Okay, so the right answer is that you should prepare for prelims and mains both simultaneously, right? I will definitely tell you that, okay, you should start with your mains preparation and simultaneously you should have a plan for a prelims as well, right? So when you talk about the answer writing, not see what is important in answer writing is that it is not only important for you to write, but it is very much important for you to get your answers evaluated also. Because if you are not going to get your answers evaluated, you will never ever understand that where you are making mistake. And you know it that when you talk about these competitive exam, each and every mark is very important. Point 0.5 mark is also very important. So in order to improve yourself every day, you need to write the answers and you need to get it checked by the evaluators that whether you are going in the right direction or not. Okay, so the answer writing and evaluation is very, very, very important. Okay. And finally, I can definitely have again a analysis here. Recently, the Arunachal Pradesh exam, which has happened, there were two paper, Law 3 and Law 4. 82% of the paper was from the LawSikho repository, and Law 4, 82.75 percentage was from the LawSikho repository. Simultaneously, if you look at the Uttarakhand, then again, Law 1 paper, 53% from the LawSikho repository, Law 2 that is 75%, Law 3, that is 64%. Simultaneously, if you talk about Uttar Pradesh and Jammu and Kashmir, we have good number of questions which have been asked from the LawSikho repository, right? And we have people who have cleared exam from Jammu, Kashmir, Uttar Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh, and Uttarakhand as well, right? So the students who are there in our internal repositories, definitely they have been taking this particular advantage and performing really, really, really well, right? So you need to look into this. Now, last but not the least, I will tell you that we had helped 20 candidates to become judicial officers in the last 6 months. So these are our success stories. Although I have not put everybody on this particular in this particular roadmap, right? But then I have shown you few of them, right? So we have success stories from West Bengal. Then we have success stories from Himachal, AIR 2, AIR 3. Okay, then we have Riddhi Patrawal with AIR 08. Then we have Vikas Thakur. Then from Chhattisgarh, we have Shruti Sahu, Siddhi, and, and we have a lot of, like, we, as I told you, that we have prepared, helped 20 students, and they have become judicial officers. Now you can be the next, right? If you take the wise decision, you can definitely be the next, right? So in coming years, right, whether it is 24, 25, or 2026, 27, or any time in next 5 years, right? If you are going to prepare, if you are preparing in the right direction, taking right guidance, taking right mentorship, then you can be the next on this particular wall. So just take your decision wisely. Okay. Lastly, I just want to conclude this entirely. And I just want to tell you that, fighters never lose. Either they win or they learn. You will never face any failure in life once you start believing in yourself and your dreams. So basically, अगर आप लोगों ने संजू देखी होगी, तो संजू में वो क्या कहता है, तू टाइगर है, ठीक है? एंड in the same way, I just want to convey this thing you that you guys are fighters. Okay. अगर आज आप ये जुडिशरी की तैयारी कर रहे हैं, if you are preparing for judiciary and you are definitely, preparing it for a longer term now, right? So what is exactly the thing is that you all are fighters. Okay. आप सब fighters हो. और ये जो पढ़ाई आप कर रहे हो, इससे आपको नॉलेज ही मिलेगा, इससे आपको कोई नुकसान नहीं होगा, राइट? एंड डेफिनेटली आपका जो गोल है वो भी आप क्लियर कर पाओगे, ठीक है? एंड once you have seen, if you have dreamt about it, if you are seeing yourself sitting on that dice, okay, where the judges sit, okay, or whenever you get into the court and when you see the judge, you have that feeling, okay, I want to sit there. I have that kind of a passion where I must listen to people and give them justice, right? So once you have start believing, or once you have start seeing that dream, okay, you will have to, once you have start seeing that dream, just believe in yourself, and I know that you can do it. Okay, so you will have to be very strong headed and very determined about your goals, okay, or about your dreams which you have seen. And last but not the least, to complete or to get you towards your goals, okay, which you have set yourself, Team LawSikho Judiciary Test Prep will help you achieve your goals in the best possible manner. Okay, so thank you guys and take care. Thank you for your patience, right? Thanks a lot.